Hello, everyone. As I mentioned in the last episode, these last three topics are essentially different ways to get at the overarching idea of what people feel about cannabis and what sort of role it plays in their lives. I guess it's no surprise that the people I interviewed do in fact appreciate cannabis, but they do answer it in different ways, which I appreciate. It was probably unnecessary to even ask the question, but here we are. But it did get them to say some new things that they hadn't said before.
That's an interesting question. I mean, appreciate how.
Sometimes I appreciate it, and sometimes I go, why bother?
I do appreciate weed.
I would say that I more than appreciate pot. I would say that I love pot. A lot.
I do appreciate pot. I am a pot appreciator of pot. I do appreciate it, yes.
I guess from a kind of a connoisseur type perspective, I think I appreciate really good pot compared to really shitty pot. There's definitely a quality, much like other fine things. There's crap and there's good.
I definitely appreciate it, yeah. I try not to take weed for granted just because it is something that alters you. You are getting high, you're getting intoxicated. So I think you have to have a level of respect for it.
I'm appreciative that this plant is out there. But like in my personal life, it's not very prevalent.
I think I really do appreciate marijuana much differently than I did when I was younger and was using it for recreation.
But in the past, yes. I mean, it was my drug of choice for a long time. So yes, I appreciate it.
I do appreciate that I had the opportunity to smoke. And I think I even appreciate that I was a habitual user in high school and college. It benefited me in a lot of ways, allowing me to relax.
And as far as what it brings, I appreciate the effect it has and what that brings to the day-to-day.
I think there was definitely an element of self-medication in there, and I definitely appreciate that I could do that with a substance that was a lot less harmful than, a lot of the things that are legal in this day and age.
I greatly appreciate pot because of how it's improved my ability to live a happy and successful life. I've been able to accomplish a lot more in my life as a result of it, and I appreciate it greatly. I don't know what my life would look like right now without it, that's for sure.
I appreciate you for what you are and what you give and that you come from this earth. I appreciate how you help people come together and be kind to each other and be able to have hard conversations with each other and expand their minds about life and the world and the universe and politics and just all the details of life.
I think it just has so many wonderful attributes and is so valuable to so many people, including myself.
I appreciate it probably for what it was put on earth for now. Marijuana is one of those great medicinal plants. It's something that has grown side by side with the human species. And I think, just from the studying I've done on it, it has been with us for tens of thousands of years. And I think every culture has used it for medicine, probably since, we've been able to communicate and think.
I absolutely appreciate the creative impulses that pot gives me. I can be creative without it, but it's just more fun. It's this feeling of idea that I love. I just love that.
I appreciate it because it has had lots of wonderful, positive, creative effects on artists and musicians.
I don't really know what certain creative endeavors would have been like without it and whether they would have been as lasting or as enjoyable. I don't really think that they would have been horrible or I would have just stopped. You can't really second guess those things looking back in hindsight, especially when they were so pleasurable.
I think without pot, the world would be a less interesting place.
And I think that's true. I think that cannabis has allowed people, or somehow given people, the freedom to create things that they may have not created otherwise. As it was said, I think, in the creativity episode, they may have had the ability to create that in them all along, but it seems that with cannabis, a wall is taken down. So, I appreciate it too, and I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. If you have the capability, I sure would appreciate a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever platform you listen on. Speaking of, as of recording, I have 3 brand new reviews. I would like to read them to you now. The first one is called Hope the Documentary Gets Made, and it is 5 stars. The rotoscope idea at the beginning is perfect for the subject material. Great podcast, super crisp audio, and interesting interviews. That is from Your Secret Admirer. I have no idea who Your Secret Admirer is. But yes, thank you for that review. I also think the rotoscope idea is perfect, and I hope that we get to make that someday. The next review is called I Like It, and it is also 5 stars. And then the body of the review just says, it's good. Thank you. Human Reviewing a Podcast. That's who it's from. And then the last one is called Not a Burnt Podcast, and it is also 5 stars. Yay for 5-star reviews. And it says, this is not a low-effort podcast. The interviews were clearly well conducted and then thoughtfully cut together. Top-notch material for a stoner, I must say. As someone who enjoys marijuana myself, I found it pleasant, calming, and entertaining to hear folks describe different aspects of the experience. Nice job, Spencer. That's me. Thank you. That very nice of you to say all those things. That is from Out of Trouble Nick. Out of Trouble is his podcast. His name is Nick, and actually, he will be interviewed by me shortly, in a few days from now. And I appreciate that another marijuana user said all those things, because one of the audiences that I wanted this to go to was cannabis users, and I hoped that they would find it interesting, because I feel it's something that they probably don't often talk about. And so, I hope that more cannabis users will enjoy this the same way that Nick does. So in the next episode, which is the last of my pre-recorded interviews, my subjects will talk to cannabis. You know, like one does.